what is your typical ROI for Facebook ad spend? Well, it changes at scale, right? So what you see with ad spend is like, you see this in an extreme case. You've got, let's say here you have ROI, and then let's say here, along here, you have scale. Well, actually, we'll call this spend. That's a better way to call it. Ad spend. And this is positive. Now, what happens is at a small ad spend, the ROI is really high, and it comes down like this. Like, that's kind of how it works. So if you're, for example, if you're doing strategy session funnel with the VSL funnel, if you're doing the strategy sessions selling a high ticket product with the VSL funnel, and you are only spending like $100, $200 a day on ads, you could honestly be 500% to like 1500% ROI, right? So like, if you spend $1, you could make $15. You spend $1,000, you could make 15,000. That happens at smaller scales, right? Like, let's say this occurs at this point, and then at this point we're only spending like 100 a day. But once you get, like, once you go over 1,000 a day, like let's say that point occurs here, this thing quickly comes down to like 500%. And then once you get up to like 20 grand a day, 30 grand a day, 50 grand a day, like, you're doing amazing if you can get like a 200%. And the 200% thing might be kind of confusing, because what I mean is, if you spent $1, you'd make $2. So you've earned back your principal and earned like 100%. So you spend $1, you make $2. If you can get a 2-to-1 ROI, like at scale, you're doing exceptional, right? Because think about it, if you got 15 times ROI at like 100 grand a day, it would be ridiculous. Like, so it changes. You should expect to get a 5-to-1 ROI at small scales or more, but expect it to go down. But the net result is more. So, you know, you might think, well, why even bother spending more if the ROI goes down? Well, the net is greater. Because if you spend $1 million on ads and you make $2 million, then you just made $1 million. But at this point, if I spend $100 on ads and I get 500% ROI, then I've only made $500, right? So it depends on the entire picture of things. And so that's why that answer, it's not like, I can't answer it with just a number. If I was, then you'd know I didn't know what I was doing. And I see people say all the time, like, if you're not getting a 15,000% ROI on Facebook, then you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, well, with that statement, you just really revealed that you don't have any idea what you're doing. Because nobody who spends decent money on ads in their right mind would ever say 15,000% ROI. That's just ridiculous.